Good morning, everybody. I'm Mutiya Vision, and it is 7:40, bright and early on a Saturday morning, and I'm sitting in my musical space right now. You can see the padding, on the walls around me. Um, designed to help keep sound in and keep it from bouncing too much. Uh, I love music. I have always loved music. Music has been very central to my healing and survival over the course of a lifetime. And growing up, I used to love the guitar, okay? But I felt like at that time it was out of reach for me because I had one hand and I didn't know how to, make that vision or that part of me work. So I remember being in high school and I was in band, and they would of course give me things that I can do with 5 fingers, like hit the tom drum, boom, boom, with a mallet. And one year I wanted to do more than hit the tom drum, for those particular parts of the ensemble. So the teacher suggested that I learn how to play the trumpet. I hated it. Way too much blowing to make those sounds. Gave me a headache. The sounds of the trumpet right here, like an elephant making those, whatever that sound is they make right here in your ear, it was too much. I didn't enjoy it. I did see it through because I made a commitment that semester, and but I never looked back. Now, as a grown-ass woman, in my matrix where I'm like, now I know I want to play. Oh, I also always loved the flute. Right now, the flute is out of my reach. I thought that was just a beautiful sounding instrument, But one thing I loved was the acoustic guitar. It's just so beautiful. It is just so beautiful, when I hear musicians, how to hit it just right and make those notes resonate and whatever it is. I always love that. So as an adult, I was like, well, you have the ability to make things happen. You have resources. What you can do? How are we going to play this this instrument that you love, that you hear in music, Santana, or you love? I want to say Spanish guitar music. Like just the way, the feelings, that are emoted in it. So I went through the yellow pages and I looked for prosthetics. And, prosthetics are things that help people to do things. And I've never in all of my life felt like I needed a prosthesis to live my life, to drive a car, to ride my bike, to do regular things. I rejected it outright, when they tried to push that on me as a little girl, because they felt like a prosthesis would help me operate from a more normal, space, because everybody needs 2 hands, to survive. Not me. So I rejected prosthetics, and I finally got to the space where I was like, I could get behind prosthetics if it could help me accomplish something like rock climbing or, whatever that is. So then I contacted this place called Orthopedic Art. Stefanos, who is there, who, fits people who needs prosthetic devices. Amazing. And I am so in love with that space because it enabled me. I got this device. It's a prosthesis, and it allows me to play the guitar. Do you see this little pick here? So for enabling me to begin a new journey of creative learning, I love Stefanos, and I love Orthopedic Art. So about 2 years ago, I started teaching myself how to play music on my guitar. I bought a guitar. I think I bought the guitar first. Then I was having this device made. And it's real simple. I love this space age weaving carbon, that he made this one of. The first one that I had made for me was made, I used a scarf that had a leopard print because I was feeling wild and exploratory. But this one that I just had made, I love it. I love it. So I started teaching myself how to play the guitar through songs that I loved. Like, one of the first songs I fell in love with in this modern era, it's not a modern song, but it was NDRE's Ready for Love. And I remember listening to her strum that guitar and just the beauty that I heard there. And I was like, that would be a song I'd want to play for my husband on my wedding day. Like, if I was able to play the guitar and sing, that would be it. And I'm not a singer, but I think I have I have a cool voice when it's not this morning grog, I enjoy listening to it. People have said that they enjoy listening to it, so I make it work. So anyway, so I got this guitar, probably, I want to say it was about a year and a half ago, because I don't always get to, I'm busy. I lead a very busy life, with family, career, comedy, spoken word. So this is my latest creative endeavor. And like I said, I love music because it soothes me, I can get lost in it. And this is Luna. I also love beautiful things. I love unique, beautiful things. And before I fell in love with this guitar, I fell in love with the artistry of this guitar, when I saw the inlay. I don't care how high the frets are or what it does yet. I was attracted to the beauty of this guitar first. And then, when the guy strummed something, I was like, okay. I like the way it sounded, because all guitars don't sound the same. They're not all created equally. So anyway, I started teaching myself how to play the guitar through songs I wanted to learn. Because if I'm vested in that, then if I have a vested interest in it, then I'm more likely to stick with it. So I fell in love with I'm Ready to Love by NDRE. So I think that's where I started. So I would start to learn a song by looking it up. Maybe I look at tutorials. I use this app on my phone called Guitar Tabs, I believe. And I'll start learning the notes of the song. So I'll look it up. I have my notes here, and I write them down. You'll note that I wrote it down in purple, because purple's an energy, a color that has this energy that just makes me feel good all over inside. So in it, it has notes like E minor. And when I first picked up a guitar, my notes were not clean like that at all. That took time and a lot of practice. But I have a brother-in-law, and he said to practice by playing the note, I believe the word is arpeggio. If you're a musician and you know it, please type it in comments and just let me know the right phrasing. But the whole point is that you're playing each string of the chord. It's not one. You're playing it. Like, to make sure that when you are actually playing the chord, it's a clean chord. You can hear where your fingers may be resting on another note like this. See how that's not smooth? And you know you're not right. So you get the fingering and you get the sounds of the individual strings of the chord right. And then you're able to actually, strum it and get a clean note. So that's what I do. So first thing I do is I start just getting a feel for each of the notes each of the chords in the song. So that was an E minor. Which is another reason that I love the song as a first song to learn, because it does require you to play individual notes of a chord, through its progression. This is D. This is D. See how that's not clean? It's been a while. I don't always get to fit my love of music into my life. See how that's better? So I am a little rusty, and I went back to my first song so that I could just refamiliarize myself and get back that muscle memory, of my fingers, because it took a while, to get them to communicate on this and make it clean and clear. This one is C. A minor 7. D6/9. And music is a language, right? So I'm still learning the language. I have the feel of it. Some of it still seems very strange and foreign, and I'm still dependent on, looking at notes sometimes to get things. But it's a journey, so I stick with it. I believe this is B7. I do that because the B notes were always very complicated for me to play. So I still cringe when I'm trying to get them. And they're complicated because they require so many fingers to be in so many different places, on this. I forget. On this. And anyway, it's a challenge. And then there's B7 sus, which I think it is. You're starting on the first fret. You've got to reach your fingers all the way down to the other fret. I don't know about this one. Okay, that one's not working right now. We'll come back to it, but that's one I just have to practice. It's one I have to push through and get to, persevere, as I teach my students. But yeah, that's how it starts. So once I have an idea of most of the notes, because sometimes I might get to a chord where I'm like, I'm not ready for that yet, so I'll just fudge it a little bit and make it work, so that the sound works, and then I make it work. But yeah. And the interesting thing about this was, I was like, those B chords, I can't do those. I don't even know how people do it. And then one day, I was like, it just doesn't work for me. I can't, I rarely use I can't. But I was like, it just doesn't work for me. I'm just not able to do that right now. And then one day I remember, because I go to places where musicians play, and there was this woman. She had the shortest, I thought my fingers were short. She had the shortest, stubbiest fingers. And she was rocking all kinds of notes on that. She was playing all these complex positions, on her guitar. And I was like, if she could do it, she inspired me. I was like, I could do it. She could do it, I could do it. So, so, so I say that to say I'm going to be playing B chords beautifully someday. I'm not giving up on them. It's just about pushing through. So, so then after I practice the chords, I'll just go through the way the song is supposed to be. Oh, and I also fall in love with the music. I will learn a song to death. I will sleep with it. I'll play it over and over, whatever that song is, just so that it becomes a part of me. And then, and then I go through the next steps. So then I'll start playing the song the way I hear it. And I'm working on the timing of it. And I was terrible. Better. Anyway, so then I'll work on that. And then I'm working on the timing and the feel of it, and the pacing of the song. And then I'll add the words in. I'll be like, I am ready for love. Why are you hiding from me? You slow it down when you gotta catch your fingering. I quickly give my freedom to be held in your captivity. I am ready for love. All of the joy and the pain, and all the time that it takes just to sing in your good grace. Anyway, you get the idea. That's enough for now. I feel like, I don't know. I'm just sharing this part because I feel like I think we all have dreams, right? We all have things that we want to do, things that we want to accomplish. And for me, people ask me how I do all of the things that I do. And for me, I think it just starts with making a choice. I decide that it's what I want to do, and then I figure out how to get from point A to point B. But I start at the end, and then I make all the connective dots needed to get me there from starting at the end. So I say that to say I wanted to learn how to play the guitar. And at one point in my life, for a large portion of my life, that was a thing that was beyond me. Like, it was unreachable. And it was unreachable to me like a poor person wanting to go to college, who didn't have the resources and just couldn't see how they would be able to accomplish that goal successfully without the resources or the connections or the know-how of even how to connect and what to do, to be successful in that environment. And so I guess I share this to say nothing is out of reach. You know, nothing is impossible. If you, there's this old cliche, it's probably cliche. Uh, if you can, if you believe it, if you can conceive it and you believe it, you can achieve it. And every accomplishment starts with the belief that you can do it. Or, no, let me start with this. Every accomplishment for me starts with me setting a goal that is a destination that I want to land on. Okay, so I set that goal. And then I strategize and put things in place that will help me to get closer to that goal. And I don't know that I always believe it at the beginning, but I know that it can be done, you know? And then at some point in the process of building my strength, my mental strength, my emotional strength, my physical strength, and whatever that task is, then I develop this confidence. And then I know, you know, I can do it. Not just that it can be done. It's something I dreamed up, it can be done, but I know I can do it. And then I just don't quit until I get there, you know? And so music is my latest love because I started with spoken word, and my love is comedy, uh, and my love is music. And so if I can figure out how to fit all of those things into everything that I'm doing, then my experience will be that much more enriched and that much more phenomenal. And I hope that you uh, find your goals that fuel your purpose, and you figure out how to nurture your gifts so that you can have a most enriching and rewarding experience. So until next time, I wish you love, light, and many successes on your journey.